Greetings, everyone. My name is Tunisia Garcia, and a year ago I wrote a book called How to Make Rainbow Sprinkles. But before I talk about the book, I want to give you a little bit of background information about me. 2001, I became a speech and language assistant, and within the 10 years I was there, I was also a special education aide, and I did after school daycare, and I also watched children when their parents were learning Spanish, at night school. So I really enjoyed doing that. I got to learn different songs like the wheels on the bus go round and round, and just really learn about the job, learn how it is to take care of students and the different roles. And at that time, I was pursuing my bachelor's degree. I have a bachelor's in anthropology, and then I decided to get my master's. So in 2012, I graduated from college, and I got my master's in educational counseling. And I wanted to be a school counselor because my children were experiencing some issues at school, and I have been bullied most of my grade school, most of my school life as when I was younger. And I really wanted to find out different ways and talk to the students, do different groups and stuff like that. So when that with that, I was a vocational counselor for a lockdown facility, and I did worked with autistic children only for a couple months, but I would go to their home. So then that ended, and I became a substitute teacher for charter schools. And I did that. And one of the schools I was at, they wanted to hire me. So I became an intern teacher, but I actually, was in the classroom with the students. I job shared. So I taught history and ELA, English, to the students. And during that time, I was trying to get a job in school counseling. So in December of 2015, I got my first school counseling job. So I left the teaching job, which I liked, but I really wanted to pursue things with my degree. So I was with K through 12, and I was in charge of testing. I did a career fair where I got different places. I mean, it was a small town. 900 people lived there. So different junior colleges and everything came by, and it was really fun. I enjoyed that. I remember going into the students' classes, talking to them, dividing my time between the middle school and high school and the elementary part. And I really enjoyed that. So when that ended for me in 2018, I got another Nevada job. This time it was at a middle school, excuse me. And later on, towards the end of the year, I was working with the elementary school kids. So I had a divorce group, I had lunchtime and a kindness club, and I talked to the students individually, and they just amazed me. I learned so many things. I will always remember that. And then the middle school, we did the kindness club, and I did groups with them too, and conflict resolution meetings with different students. So after that, I moved back to California, and I had another job, and that was being a special education school counselor. And I enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed, having groups, anger management, self-regulation, different things, to get the behaviors, if they're angry, to find that safe place. And, I would talk to them a lot about that. And during COVID, we were all online. So it was during COVID that I was still at that school. And so I started doing more mindfulness lessons, with them using the five senses. What do you see? How are you feeling? To get in touch with your feelings, just to do different things, if they're angry, if they're sad. And I always had a coloring page for them too. It was usually like mosaic, all these different squares and stuff like that they got to color. So I really enjoyed doing that. When that ended, I became a school counselor at a different school district, but that didn't last long, but a couple months. Due to health reasons, I left. And during that time, I had learned about crystal. I was wearing crystals and learning a little bit about it. But in 2023, I got to work at my brother's metaphysical store, and oh my gosh, things just really opened up for me. I started learning about crystals and learning about herbs and, just the whole holistic approach to healing. And holistic means your mind and your body. And so I was learning about that. And I learned from all the customers and the children. I learned from them too. So I had wanted to teach a class teaching children about chakras, but using the rainbow. And I did get a chance to do that, but I had a picture book already and everything. And I told myself, I said, gosh, you know what? I really don't want to let this go. So what I did is I wrote a book. And the book I mentioned in the beginning, How to Make Rainbow Sprinkles. And it's a book about cultural diversity, unity, love, peace, kindness. And it's geared toward ages 2 to 7, but it really is for everyone. So I wanted to introduce you to my characters. And the first character, she's also the narrator, and she lives in Purple Palace, and her name is Amy Amethyst. And Amy Amethyst sees a rainbow in the sky, and she thinks, and she had this idea, I want to start a crystal club. I want to find a new place to live. So on the way, she meets Lori Lapis. And Lori Lapis, Lori Lapis is from Violet Valley. And they meditated, they went to sleep. But before that, Lori, do you want to join my crystal club? And Lori said, yes. And meditated, went to sleep, and off they went. The next character they meet is Larry Larimar. And Larry Larimar lives at Blue Splash Island. And Amy asked Larry, do you want to join my crystal club? And Larry says, yes. So the next day they went off to find more crystal friends, and they meet Maverick Malachite. He is from Green Grass Meadow. Maverick Malachite, do you want to join my crystal club? And he says, yes. So off they went. The next day, they needed to find more crystal friends. So they met Sylvia Citrine. She lives in Happy Sunshine Mountain. Sylvia, do you want to join my crystal club? And she says, yes. And off they went to find 2 more crystal friends. And they go to Pomegranate Park, and they meet Kamala Carnelian. Kamala, do you want to join my crystal club? And she said, yes. So off they went to find 1 more crystal friend. And they went to Ruby Red Ridge, and they met Jasmine Jasper. Jasmine, do you want to join our crystal club? And she says, double yes. So off they went. They're traveling. Excuse me. Gotta wet my whistle. Okay. And off they went. They're traveling. And then Amy sees a rainbow in the sky. And she says, this is where we're going to have a new home. Rainbow Ranch. We are home. I love this part. But most importantly, we are now a family. That's beautiful. I later on I'll have a whole segment about, families. So they were singing and dancing and celebrating. Hooray, hooray. We found our home. We found our home. And all of a sudden, out of the sky, rainbow sprinkles appeared. Wow, amazing. So they have found their home where they can live in peace and harmony, and everybody's different, cultural diversity, unity, harmony, kindness. Most importantly, love. So this is how we made rainbow sprinkles. So I really, love the way the book came out and stuff. So I wanted to share with you some things that my mom's making. Well, I made an official rainbow sprinkles hat, bucket hat. So my mom made an Amy Amethyst hat. I put it on. So it's got the daisy for Amy, and what she's doing now, she made an Amy Amethyst stuffed toy. And Maverick Malachite stuffed toy. He's got his hat, he's got his boots. Last one is, she's still working on the rest of them. Sylvia Citrine she made. Sylvia Citrine has a little bag with the citrine crystal. And the bag, you put like a penny or something small in there. Piece of small candy or something. But, so I can't wait to see, all the other characters and stuff. And what I did is I started a show, Rainbow Time with Auntie Amy. And I have a song too. So, start off with the song, and then I'm going over all the crystal characters right now. I'm on tomorrow or the next day, I'll do Larry Larimar and featuring him. But what I wanted to share when I talked about holistic approach and with the chakras, all the chakras line up, and there's like you can use the crystal energy for the holistic approach using the chakras. I think it's a good thing. It's a very, very good thing. And chakras means wheel. What you can use also, you connect yourself with nature and different things. And it's like a menu, a recipe. If I'm hurt or I'm feeling this way, then what do I have to do to unblock that chakra? So I think I mentioned before about eating yellow food, taking a walk in nature barefooted, which is really good. But what I want to introduce you to is sound. Sound heals. It's another holistic approach. Okay, so I'm going to show you, this is the heart tuning fork. And goes with the heart. So, if you meditate and you say you can do that. Or you can say, different things. I am calm. I am happy. Those are some things. The next thing on the bottom here is frequencies. So it says 136.10. So that's the frequency it gives off. And I'm going to show you how it sounds. I'm going to bang it, so it might be a little loud. And it vibrates. You can see the vibration in it. And I could put it, on my heart. I can show you. I can go on my heart to heal. It wore off. So, and then you can also use this. So, yeah. So I feel the vibrations. It helps to open up my heart. So it's a beautiful thing. I'll be using these, the tuning fork more often as we go along to show you different things, along with copper, but I want to tell you, you can buy my book on my website, www. Let me show you howtomake.rainbowsprinkles.com, but it's right here. Okay, you can see it right there. And you could also get my book on Amazon, and you can get the ebook too. I don't have the audio ready, but it will be out within the month. So come and it'd be nice. If you get a book, I'll sign it for you, and start teaching the children. I have a grandson, and he has a book, and to teach him, and you can teach your children or the children you're around, your classrooms, about how amazing the chakras are, how amazing crystals are. But if all of that is so new, and you're not, that's not you. You can teach children about colors, and then foods and different things that are that color. So my book could be used in a lot of different ways. And just read the book and just go over the different colors and ask, do you know what color blue is, or even indigo? Do you know what color indigo is? So, well, thank you for letting me share with you. As always, well, have a beautiful night. And I wish you peace and love. And I love you all.